Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Let's Do It Afraid podcast. Hi, Yvette. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing great. I'm excited for this episode. We're going to share resources with our listeners, and hopefully somebody needs it. If they don't, go ahead and share it with somebody that you may need it. The more word of mouth really goes, I feel like that's a lot. A lot of these organizations are now very enriched with programs and grants and different resources for our community. And I feel like the more we can help get that out there for our people, especially our Latin community that is really limited with resources and plus the language barrier for some of them, just having that out there for whenever somebody really needs it. Just like we had shared previous one of our previous episodes of like the mental health resources there are, a lot of these resources when you become a mom or when you get caught up in these financial situations or legal situations, we feel like the doors are closing or you don't find the open door. And it's like keep knocking on those doors. There's stuff out there. Just, keep looking. Don't give up. And people get caught in that negativity or like, oh my God, I'm the only one going through this. And no, there's so many more people going through it and things can always be worse. So that's one way I like to look at it. And I'm excited for today's episode. Hopefully people can resonate and share with their people.
Yeah, I know something that we talked about a lot that was really important to us was helping our community and providing resources for people that may feel like they are held back from certain things due to not having the resources or the knowledge to do them. So I am excited to do this episode. Once again, we're not exactly experts in any of these fields. Some of these resources that we're going to share, we haven't personally used. We're kind of just going off of things we learned online. Maybe we knew someone who attended these places. We do want to keep that in mind as well. And they are obviously familiar to the area that we live in, but that doesn't mean if you're listening anywhere else that isn't California, a different state, I'm sure you could try to find resources that are similar. Hopefully, you can, either going online or Facebook, Instagram, things like that.
Yeah, there's some organizations that you can find throughout the US, like among groups or online resources. Those are available online, but always looking things up if you feel like you connect with one of our resources that we do provide. Maybe they do have a branch somewhere else. So just don't be afraid to ask and we'll figure it out for you if you can't figure it out.
Yeah, definitely reach out if you have questions and we can try to help you guys that way as well. If you have like a very specific case that you want to ask us about, once again, we're not experts, so please be patient with us, but we will definitely try because that is something that we're passionate about is helping others and helping our community as well. The first thing that we wanted to talk about was legal aid resources. These are all programs that provide support to people that are dealing with immigration or legal challenges, things like that. We learned on our episode with Days Margarita because she works for Vidas, an organization that helps the immigrant community to obtain their immigration status, things like that. And a lot of their services are low cost. I do know that there's also Catholic charities. A lot of those services, I mean, it is income based, but I do think a lot of their services are free from what I remember when I used to work with my mom helping the immigration community. And if it wasn't free, it was like more than half of the cost that it would be if you didn't have those resources. Do you know anything about those Catholic charities ones?
Catholic Charities, I know someone that worked there. He helped me bring my husband across the border. He helped me get my husband's papers in line because he had never been here. I feel like everybody's case can be a little bit different, and it does help when somebody's not been here before. It's quicker. And then it's also really bugging this family member because I was pregnant during the time and I didn't want to have to go through giving birth and not having my husband there. It did end up going that way. And I mean, I did have my village, so thank God I had my village. I mean, it would have been nice to have him there. He was here for the other two, but he literally got here the next morning after I gave birth, which was just crazy to me how timing works. But I mean, God wanted it that way. So it is what it is. He is extremely helpful and extremely knowledgeable. I think he still works there. I do know they do provide different services. I know they help a lot with like homeless and feeding the unsheltered. They do have different resources. So I would contact them if you know somebody that had just arrived here and needs resources. They're a great resource center. And if they don't have the answer, they'll send you somewhere else. And I feel like a lot of these different organizations do the same. Like if they can't help you, they have connections and they know people, so they will get you connected to where you need to be. I also know Legal Aid is here in Santa Rosa. and they help with anything small business wise. Like if you want to do a contract, if you're trying to form your business, you need to talk to an attorney to see what kind of entity you would like to have, any kind of orientation with business they can help. I know they do have some like family law, and if they can't help you with certain branch of law, they can refer you. They have different attorneys and they do have connections. A lot of their services are free if you qualify under the income sliding scale. They work a lot with the local chambers, come in and give us like even the business owners, they come and give us like a spiel on what resources they have. I went to one last year and they were there to answer any questions after it. So anytime you see them doing an event, if you have questions, just go ahead. It's free information and they're not charging for their services when they do that.
Yeah, that's great. And I just remembered my first job was California Human Development Corporation. I believe that it's still around. I used to work in the immigration department. So they would do like different fairs around the community and help people there. They also had classes for individuals who wanted to get their license and like truck, what is it? Like the truck, the big trucks.
The trucking, yeah, my husband did the program, but he didn't
Oh,
do
he did?
trucking. He did forklift. He got a forklift certification. I think they had that and the trucking and something else. I know they help a lot with the farm workers. And my husband, when he first got here, that was his first job. Even though he had papers and everybody was like, ¿Qué estás haciendo aquí? Si tú tienes papeles, vete a trabajar en otro lado. And it's like, well, I don't know English. So I'm trying to assimilate, like get the rhythm of work here. And he worked his butt off. Like if he didn't have papers and I mean, it also humbled us in many different directions. I mean, I have family members that have been here and same kind of scenario, but like living it firsthand is totally different. And it also like made us appreciate things a lot more. I do have that program and I loved it. I was like, what if you go back into the driver's one? And he was like, I don't know. That driving one comes with so much more responsibility. If you get a ticket on the road, you no longer have a regular class type license. So you get, I think it's like double the multa
Oh, wow. I didn't know
or
that.
double fined, and then they have a lot more restrictions. I do have a family member that took it, and he's a trucker. He gets paid well, but he's like, like I don't want to risk my license, so I don't drink. I don't like have. I'm clean. I'm like, oh, okay. I see
Well,
how that.
that's yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know he did that. Yeah, I remember they did a lot for the farm working community and the immigration community, and I really, really loved that organization when I worked there. Another thing that just came to mind because you said, how your husband, when he came into this country, he didn't speak English, obviously. I know that our local Santa Rosa Junior College does a lot of classes in the community, and a lot of them are free. And if it's not free, it's like low cost as well. And they do English classes in the afternoon and the mornings at different school sites here. But my husband did that as well. He was in the program for a couple of years, and that definitely helped him with his English because he too was an immigrant when I met him. So he didn't know, he had just arrived from Mexico as well. So he didn't know the language. And then future episodes, I would like to have, if this is a topic that does interest listeners, please let us know. My mom is not an attorney, but she is definitely an expert in all things immigration. And I would love to have her come on. So if that's something that people would be interested in, maybe we could do like a Q&A and you guys can ask the questions that you would like to ask her. That's definitely a possibility. So please give us some feedback if that's a topic that you're interested in hearing about.
feel like that would be amazing. Also, I'm thinking now that we're talking about that, your mom does have a lot of amazing resources. I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out like, should we do something in English? Because our show is mainly in English. We do speak some Spanglish here and there. But right now, with everything going on with our, change in presidency, I know a lot of people are scared. There's fear, there's worries, there's so many things going through people's mind. And I feel like having your mom coming on would be a great opportunity to talk about these things. I don't know, like I know a lot of people in Spanish are worried about it. So I don't know
Mhm.
if we should do like an episode here and there, or maybe we can even go to your mom's radio station.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, like a little Q&A session. Yeah, it could be on the podcast or it could be on the radio. We could do both. And we could even, I mean, I'm open to doing it in Spanish or bilingual. Like I said, please let us know. I think it would be mostly for our Spanish speaking audience, but there might be some English speakers that come from a different country and maybe they have some questions about it as well. So definitely let us know what you think and what you would be interested.
Yeah, or even people that I mean marry into family that is not in the United States and would like to bring somebody. I mean, I'm sure your mom has resources and information. So that'd be great.
She has so many resources and for way more things than what we're even going to cover today. She is always the person that I go to. If somebody calls me and they're like, Myra, I have this problem. Can you help me? The next call I make is my mom,
Yeah.
to help me help this person because she does have so many resources for everything.
Yeah, she is like the powerhouse. I'm like, I don't know how she runs it all, but she's great. So I'm excited. I hope she comes on and we're able to help our community in that manner. And then I do know there's also another immigration institute of the Bay Area. There's one in Napa, there's one in Paloma, and I think there's one somewhere out, Vallejo maybe. So they also do legal assistance for immigrants in underserved communities. And they were helping my husband with like a renewal for his residency. And then I have an uncle who has been here for like 38 years, I want to say. And he doesn't have any prior, like he came legally, but he couldn't find his information. So we went through that organization and they ran a FOIA, which is like a search, his history
Background
search.
check.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
background check and history search with like different agencies like Border Patrol,
Mm-hmm.
Immigration, UCIS, and FBI maybe.
FBI. They take your fingerprints and they do like a whole humongous background check.
Yeah, so we just got that back and it took forever, but I just tell my uncle, like, you're not paying anything, so just be patient. This is the normal process. If we want something quicker, then we need to go through an attorney or someone that is more an expert in this. But I'm just leaving it in his field because I'm like, at the end of the day, this is you, and I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna go to the to speak to an attorney or whatever, and he's like scared out of his mind. But I'm like, you're fine. You came in legally. Like you have more protection than people that don't come in legally. So
Mhm.
every case is different, like I said. So hopefully he gets that resolved soon. And I know there's other local nonprofits that are based on income and they have general aid programs that are available locally. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and reach out to us. We'll provide information on these agencies down below in the description. And if anything, go ahead and send us a message on Instagram or TikTok or anywhere you can find us.
Yeah, and also with every change in administration, so for example, we just went through a change in our president, and then also some senators and things like that. It does make it does backtrack the immigration process. So I think no matter where you go, you do have to be a little bit patient. They are backed up. But I mean, like you said, if you are more in a hurry, then maybe the attorney route would be best. But even then, I know a lot of immigration attorneys whose cases are really backed up because with any change, it just automatically laws change, right? So with every president, laws and things can change. So it does make things take a little bit longer.
Yeah, my husband was gonna go through like getting his citizenship and he got this was like a couple years ago. It was literally like a couple months after my mother-in-law passed. He got his like letter in the mail. You have an appointment on, I think she passed in April and he got a letter. He had to go like in June and I was like, there's no way. Like there's no way. Like he's still grieving. There's so much going on. And I was like scared out of my mind because his English is not 100. But I mean, it's a risk that we take, but at the same time, it can give us so much more freedom and so much more stability for their peace of mind, I guess you can say. So don't be scared. Look for the resources, ask around. You're not going to be the only one going through these situations. So as much as we can help you or the more information you have, the better off you are.
Yeah, and they do have a lot of good resources. I remember when my husband became a US, or when he was studying for the exam to become a US citizen, we went to Catholic Charities, and we didn't do the process through Catholic Charities. We did it through my mom, of course. But we went there because they give you all of the questions that you need.
Mhm.
And they even gave him a CD that he would put in the computer and he would literally practice and practice and practice with that. His English wasn't perfect either. It's a lot, it's a lot better now, obviously, than it was when he did it. But it didn't deter, it didn't, it not, he still was encouraged to do it. It didn't like it wasn't scared, like he had a lot of help. I would help him. So definitely, there are resources, and reach out to these different organizations if there is something that you're interested in regards to that, for
Yeah.
sure. And so the next topic that we want to move into, you're probably going to be way more of an expert at this than I am, because I know that you do attend a lot of the networking and business development resources or different events that they have in our community a lot more than I do. My mom also attends all of them as well, because I know you see her all the time out there.
Yeah.
They also have really good resources for people that are entrepreneurs or wanting to start a new business or find like-minded people. We really are lucky in the area that we live in because they have a lot of meetings and things like that for people. And ours, I know some of them are with a fee, but are there also some that are free?
Yeah, it just depends. Every event, like even through the Hispanic Chamber, or I'm a part of another, or it just got merged into the Hispanic Chamber. It's called Latinas Emprendedoras. We do free events unless we had to pay for a venue and then we had to get some kind of upfront fee to cover the cost. But most of the events are free. It just depends. Like looking it up, there'll always be flyers and they'll tell you free or it'll say fee for this. So I'm going to one in December and it's a local one. She doesn't have like an organization. She's just a local hairstylist and she likes throwing events for the community. She's a part of our Latinas Emprendedoras now, which is a committee within the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which I'm a part of. I'm a board member of now. And so she's gonna do, I think it's like crafts and like, food and bites and networking all in one night. So I'm excited for that because it's Christmas theme and it's right before our vacation kicks off. So it's something I'm looking forward to. But I do know the Roanoke Park Chamber of Commerce holds like I think it's either weekly or monthly free networking like get-togethers every Wednesday night. I came across one of the board members and she invited me, but I've not made it there yet. And then the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is very involved with Latino open small businesses in the area. So whenever you have like if you're opening a little restaurant and you want to bring more community and get more word out there, I would encourage you guys to invite any kind of chamber or anyone that you know of. Even if you don't know them, send them a message and we'll be more than glad to go and do a grand opening with you and cut your ribbon and make it a great event so that everybody in our community can also come and support you. And then the SoCo Boss Babes is another organization that I'm a part of. It's Sonoma County entrepreneurs. We have different events throughout the year, whether it's workshops or markets or just like networking events at different venues. So it's all basically trying to get like-minded people to come together and share their resources, talk about their business, get to know one another, build that relationship because you don't know how far, like even if you may not need me today, but then maybe your husband opens a shop next week or next year and they're like, "Oh, I don't know where to start." Well, here's my card and here's like I have all these resources. So the more you can share, the better off people are and maybe that encourages them to take that leap of faith because sometimes it does take a lot of courage and a lot of like it's scary. It's not going to be quick and easy right off the bat. So there's a lot of things that you have to keep pushing through, like some things before you see any kind of progress. And I just say always network, always talk to people wherever you are. Like you go to a doctor's appointment, they ask you like, "Oh, how are you doing?" Say, "Oh, I'm doing great. I just opened my business. I'm starting to do this." And even if they don't take anything from you, like they just know who you are going forward. And I always tell my husband, like, he's very shy and he just opened his landscaping business. And I'm like, you have to talk to people. And he's like, he's just very quiet. I'm like, oh, this doesn't help me. But I'm like, it's okay. We'll make it work. Like our family does a lot. My mom helps people. So she has a lot of client relationships or she knows a lot of people in the community. So I'm like, she keeps that word of mouth going just as much as my family does and as much as anybody else that I've served or helped. So it's just it takes a village.
Yeah, and it's a lot of word of mouth because I remember when my husband first started his landscaping business in 2009, we would make flyers and we would go, pass them out to like in the neighborhoods, we would pass them out to people, or we would put them in little Ziploc bags with rocks and then we would like leave them on their front porch. And we did get a few here and there, like a few
Where
here.
did it come from, girl? Because my husband started doing that and I'm like, what? A rock
I
in a
don't
bag? Like,
know
what
where
is
that
going on
came
here?
from. Like that must be a thing from Mexico. I don't know. Like my husband, it was his idea. It wasn't mine.
Yeah, no, he did
Oh,
it. Like I didn't even tell him, and I saw him doing it, and I was like, "What is he doing?" But I was like, "Okay, whatever."
yeah.
And then
And he
he
also
takes
just
my
would
kids.
go. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. We would take our daughter. I would go with him, and that's how we got a lot of our like first clients.
Mhm.
But then once you have like your first clients, then they start telling more people, or like you said, your village, your community. If we've had people like his cousins who are be like, "Hey, I have this friend," and they'll recommend people to him as well. So It's definitely a lot of word of mouth, but be patient, be persistent, and it'll happen for sure. But I guess it like he is very shy. My husband is definitely not shy. He will talk to anything and anyone, so it's never been an issue. But I can just imagine like with your poor husband, he does seem very shy.
He's like, he is you and I am him.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
But yeah, I tell him all the time, I'm like, you have to get like, talk when you see people, smile, like build that relationship and be like, this guy always looks grumpy. But I'm like, I'm sorry, we just have RBF. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, it's okay. Like you said, the clients will speak for us and the work he does. And
Yes.
he got a client last month, and he that's where like we got the thing, like we got the idea to just keep going.
Oh,
Because he's been helping out with my uncle that has a small family business as well. And I would tell my uncle, I'm like, dude, le hago tarjetas y las reparta and whatever. And he's like, yo no voy a ir a repartir. I'm like, nomás es de repartir. Like, vaya y reparta las tarjetas and flyers, and like you'll get more services. A lot of the instability in the economy also like will
yeah.
make people hold back from taking services or continuing services. So he lost a couple of clients, and he was like, oh, pues ya perdí unos clientes or whatever. But he makes enough to, I mean, he has
Yeah.
his employees, so he makes enough to get by. But I told him, I'm like, oh, I'll help you. Like, I'll create flyers. And he was like, no. But now that my husband is helping him and my husband is doing it, I'm like, maybe you guys should just partner and like because it's funny. Like, he got that job and then he's like, ocupo ayuda. I'm like, well, I'll go help you or take my dad he took my son, but I was like, take my dad or we'll figure it out. And then
Yeah.
my uncle was like, oh, que vaya a trabajar conmigo en la mañana y después en la tarde yo voy con él. I'm like, that is hilarious. Like, how did the boss become an employee? But
They're
I
gonna
mean,
help each other out. That's great. That's amazing.
yeah.
And then I was also remembering our episode with Alma, who works for I always get the name wrong. Is it Better Business Bureau?
You got it right. Yeah, it's the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah.
I also was going to talk about her. Yeah.
Yeah,
She has a lot of resources.
they do. And they also do a lot of things for the community to help them build their businesses as well, like meetings and things like that. I don't remember if she said they were free or not.
I don't know if they're free or not. I do know that once they become a member, they get a lot more resources. I did meet with her, I think a couple of months ago, and we went through like the services she offers, the resources they have for their members, and then they do workshops. They can help them with like setting up their entity or figuring out which one they want to select and everything that they need for their business. And again, it's like it's not a one-stop shop, but we all have connections. So if you don't know where to go, just reach out to anyone and we'll share the list that we have. I've gotten resources from Alma. She's really great. And she shares a list of resources. So if you're looking for a specific thing, she'll give you like 3 or 4 vendors. You can go reach out and work with whoever works with you, because sometimes we're not always going to be the right fit for everyone. Like, some people may prefer in Spanish, some people may prefer in English, some people want a higher cost. I mean, some people want a like more, what's it called? Some people want a budget friendly price. Other
Mhm.
people want more services. So it's really like up to them at the end of the day who they want to work with. And that's just how it is. Like, para mí, I always say like el sol sale para todos, and whoever you feel like fits right with you is
Mhm.
great.
Yeah. And definitely go back and listen to that episode. She did talk a lot about the different resources that they have. And you in the description of that show as well, we do have her information linked. So you could definitely reach out to her if you have questions. But that she did give a lot of really good resources for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I think the next one was like community-based programs that emphasize community sharing and support, fostering a strong local community spirit. One of the programs that we highlighted was Buy Nothing Sonoma County, which is, I think you talked about this, right? Where it's like they um if they want to sell something or get rid of something,
Yeah.
they will give it to you for free, right?
Yeah, so they post it online, and there's different Facebook groups. So you go into Facebook, search up Buy Nothing Sonoma County, and there will be one for every region. I know like Santa Rosa, Reno Park, Petaluma. There's one that's also like SoCo, like the whole county. There's so anything that says buy, so if it says buy nothing, that means it's free. And then there's also other Facebook groups that are like Santa Rosa Marketplace or like a kind of like online flea market where everybody sells, but the buy nothing is completely free. And the only rule, like they have restrictions and rules, so you can't get something and then go and repost it like, oh, I don't want it anymore, you know? So what happens, like I do myself, like if I get something and I no longer need it, then I just go and donate it
Yeah.
or put it out for free, but don't put it on the Facebook group. And then it's like anybody, like I went out the other day, I was looking for, well, I got my puppy and I didn't realize like, oh, I don't have my crate anymore and I don't have a carrier anymore. So I went on there and I put in search of, so ISO and then crate. And then someone right away messaged me and was like, "Oh, I have two. I'm out of town, but I can get to you on this day." And I was like, "Dude, this is amazing! I like saved myself like $100."
Yeah. And then I know that they also have like the regular marketplaces where you can get stuff a lot cheaper. I've also bought things off of there. And I'm sure they have, I mean, I hope that they would have this for different counties. So maybe like if you put in to your Facebook, I don't know, Idaho Marketplace or, like Salt Lake City Marketplace or um, maybe that you can find those programs around you as well. I know here they also do the big event at the Sonoma County Fairgrounds. You know what I'm talking about? They do that. It just came to my mind right now, but it's like a huge event where they sell a lot of kids' clothing and kids' toys. I want to say they do it around like the holiday time. Can't remember what it was called, but and it's like good things that are like really good conditions and they sell them really, really cheap. Even books, clothes, so many things.
Yeah, so it's called Just Between Friends North Bay.
Mm.
And it happens, I think it's one time a year. The date I can't remember, but you do pay a ticket to get it. I mean, a ticket to get
Yeah.
in. But they have so many things from jumpies to clothes to toys to board games, books, like you said. So many different things for babies and kids, and it's great. I just feel like it's an amazing, like you either reuse. I don't know if they do sell like lightly used clothes. I haven't been there myself, but I did get like a baby shower gift from there, which was great. I was like, I don't care if it's wherever it came from, like I'll take it.
Mhm.
Um and then also I mean there's so many groups and so many things out there. So that exchange, there's like local flea markets still in the area up and running all over the place. And then like if you have something to sell, you can go ahead and post it. There's also apps like what is it called? One second, let me get my phone real quick. There's a few that I have. I think one is called OfferUp, and there's another one called to Gift Me. Oh God, I lost it. But there's a few apps that you can also go on there and list. Like if you don't want to do Facebook Marketplace because it traces your picture and your whole profile, and some people are like more private. Like I don't know. I used to not have Facebook, so I used OfferUp back in the days. There's still Craigslist, and different apps where you can go and sell things or find things that you may need.
That's right. Craigslist is a good one too. I mean, I think I got my first two cars off of Craigslist.
Oh, that's awesome. I went to that's also the fairgrounds has like that uh what is that? Auto sales
Oh,
on the
that's right. Yeah.
weekends. That's where I got my first car.
Yeah, that's where we got my our daughter's first car. Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's a great car, great condition, and it was a lot cheaper because it is, yeah, they do have really nice cars for a lot cheaper than at I don't know, at a dealership or something.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't pay all those fees.
Yeah. So I know we also wanted to talk about support groups for moms and parents, single dads as well. Of course, we have the really good group that we talked about in our episode with Hillary. So please go back and listen to that episode as well. She talked a lot about the She Can Club, which is for women.
Yeah.
And she does a lot of, help with, no, she, a lot of community building, a lot of like sister bonding kind of a thing. I know she does I know there is a fee. I am going to my first one this week on Thursday, so I'm really excited about that. It's for like entrepreneurs and, like you said, meet like-minded people and kind of get help on how to build your business and things like that. It's going to be my first one, so I'm really excited about it. But I know she also does some where it's just, where they kind of just go and they hang out and they talk and they support one another. Um, I know she also does one where her friend that's, I believe, a psychic medium comes in and does like readings for the individuals that are there for a couple of minutes. So there's different events, and she does them all in this really cool Barbie themed house. She
Yes.
Airbnb. So I'm excited. I haven't been. This is going to be my first one, but definitely go back and listen to that episode because I know she talked a lot about the She Can Club and the different things that she does for the community.
Yeah, I agree. I've been wanting to go to one of her events. I'm just so busy that I'm just like, I want to go to so many things, but I'm like, I also have to remember that I'm human and I can't overload myself.
Yeah.
So I pick and choose whenever I can and it works with my schedule. So I'm still hoping to go to one of her She Can Club events, hopefully coming up. And then I do know there's places like I don't know if she offers any kind of like half price rates or I don't know how she works, but I do know a lot of these organizations, like if you can't pay a fee, they'll find ways for you to make it work.
Yeah.
Because we do know that there's a need for all these things, you know, and so we try to make our thing like our events accessible to people. And if you can't make it or you can't pay for it, then just let us know. And
Yeah,
and you
for
never
sure.
know, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You definitely like on hers on the flyer it tells you how much it's going to be. I believe that the one that I'm going to on Thursday is $35, I think. So, I mean, it's not crazy expensive, but obviously, not everyone can afford it.
Yeah.
But if you definitely can afford it, you should definitely go and check it out. I also know that they have the Fit for Mom. Did you go to that one? I think you had
Yeah.
mentioned you had gone to one of them.
Yeah, I've gone to a couple of their events. They do annual events at the Howard Park,
Hmm.
and we work out in different areas of the park. And then at the end, the kids will do like a little race. At the beginning, we'll be the ones working out. At the end, they do a little race, and they feel like they're part of the event. And then there's like a market, and there's also raffles. The different businesses that come together to do the little market will each have like a little giveaway. And so we put our tickets in there. I took my daughter with me one time and we won. I got a free haircut and then she got a certificate for ballet class. She's so excited. I have not taken her yet, but she's looking forward to it.
Is there a fee for the Fit for Moms?
The Fit for Moms, if you're going to join their gym membership, then you just pay the gym membership. But for that event, it's a free annual event because that's their fundraising event or it's their annual celebration of their organization.
Oh, okay. If I haven't gone to any of the Fit for Moms events, so I was just curious if we also have the Moms of Sonoma County, which is also was before Windsor Mom Walks. I don't, that one also offers, support for local moms and things like that. They walk. I mean, is that what's called the
Yeah.
Windsor Mom Walk?
So I didn't know about them. Like I've seen them online, but I didn't really put like a name to a face before. And I would walk with my cousin Andrea to the park a couple of times at Howard Park, and I would see like this group of ladies just come with their kids and go on strollers, like stroller walks with their kids. And I was
Mhm.
like, that is so cool. I would tell Andrea like we should do that one day. We should bring because she had her baby and I didn't have my kids because I had them in school already. But I was like, we should come and be part of it. But I didn't really know it was an actual organization. And then I think it was through Hillary. She had like posted on her She Can Club page, like the mom walks, and then I ended up participating in one of them. It was like walk around. I think it was like Easter egg hunt or something. So I ended up keeping my kid home to take her to the egg hunt because she was still little. She was like 3 years old, and I was like, she's not in real school, so I'll just
Mhm.
take her out and go. And we did go. It was pretty cool. It was like hiding the eggs around the park. And then there was another event where they had I think it was like another park event, mom walk. And then it was gonna rain, so we ended up going to the Cottingtown Mall and walking around inside. And then the kids got I think it was another Easter event. They had like hiding the eggs, but it was in the little tiny playground that they have by the JCPenney's.
Mhm.
And so they hid the eggs around the little park and the kids were looking around. And it was pretty cool, like just connecting with other moms, not feeling like you're lonely in the process. And then a lot of them also have businesses and it's like, oh, I didn't know. And then they also connect with small business owners that would like to that sponsor some of their events and then they come and talk about their business and it's pretty cool.
Is that one? Is there a fee for that one?
No, it's free.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Well, yeah, that's a great one then, especially it's free and you walk around the park and that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, you don't have to bring your kids either. Like if you just want to connect with other moms, you just come. And I thought it was weird because I was like, oh my God, I had to keep my kid home from going to school so I could go. And then they're like, no, you don't have to, you just come. And I was like, well, a little bit too late for that, but now I know.
Now you know. And then I know this is like really generic or something, but when I first started working out when my son was first born, I didn't feel comfortable yet going to the gym, and I would just work out from home, but they have a lot of free workouts on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's also a good thing to know is they have a lot and they have, if you just like put in the search like you want an easy or a walking one or 10-minute one, 30-minute one, 45-minute one with weights. I mean, you just put it in the search and so many come up and there really are some really, really amazing workouts as well. So anyone who maybe wants to start working out but wants to do it from home because they also maybe don't feel comfortable going to the gym or they can't afford the gym, that's a really good option as well.
Agree. I actually did a couple workouts the other day, and I was like, the next day no voy a mover, but it was a
Hmm.
good workout because
Yeah, they have
I
good ones.
it got me working out. And I do know there's a couple other organizations within the region for like dads. So I know we've been talking a lot about our like informational groups and mom resources, but there's also things for dads. There's a dads group. It's called Psych Strategies, and it's a workshop and process group for dads that can explore the joys and challenges of fatherhood. And just like we can connect with other moms during the mom walks, like that's a group for dads.
Yeah.
There's also NAMI Sonoma County, which offers confidential family support group for family members, friends, and partners of people with serious mental illnesses. And there's a lot of different resources, so just reach out. There's also a place called the Child Parent Institute where they do workshops, informational presentations, and co-parenting classes for people that have problem, or you don't necessarily have to have problems to be going to these classes. It's just learning how we can be better parents and how we can connect with our kids. I know Kaiser, different health insurances also offer classes. Check in with your network to see if they have, like, I think when I was pregnant with my first, I took like a birthing class, I took a
Hmm.
parenting class, and it was good to like really, for me, it like didn't sink until I had my kid, but I mean, it gave me like a aspect of what to expect during the process.
Yeah, I found that I went to a similar parenting class before I had my daughter, and I found it really helpful. Like
Yeah.
I didn't feel as like scared or I was walking into something completely unknown. It does, even though, yeah, you're not going to be fully prepared until you're there, but at least it kind of gives you an idea, of what to expect and how you can breathe and things like that. Because I didn't know,
Yeah.
that there's like a certain way to breathe that would help with the birthing process. I recently learned also about something called the Silent Book Club. And once again, it is here locally, but I'm sure if you look it up on Instagram, I know I saw different silent book clubs from all over the United States. And I just thought it was really, really cool. My friend invited me. I haven't been able to go yet, but I'm hoping that I can in the next couple of months. It happens once a month. And if you just, like I said, if you put it on Instagram, Silent Moms Book Club, where we live, and then you put in your city, you can so what happens is they meet at a different location every month. Usually, I believe it's like a restaurant or somewhere small where you can get food. So, like the first 30 minutes, you show up and you order your food and you kind of talk and say hi to people. Then everyone kind of sits down and you read for a whole hour your own book in silence. And then the last 30 minutes, you talk to the people around you about what you read. So if you're a book girly like me or a book guy, definitely that sounds, I mean, it sounds really, really fun because you get to actually connect with people who are reading. And I don't know, like it makes you feel like you're reading in a group, but you're also just reading your own book and you can get ideas of different books from different people. So I thought that that was really, really cool.
I think that's amazing. I know there's different. I know I went to through an app called Meetup for like business networking, but they also have like book clubs and different things of interest, like depending on what kind of interests you have and hobbies. They have all these different groups online and resources that you can connect with people that have like-minded or interests with similar interests as you.
Yeah, I also used the Meetup app at the beginning when I wanted to find like a group that did choir. because I always really love to sing. And I did go to a couple of things with, I even found one where I could take my daughter and we kind of went together and it was like a Christmas themed one. So we got to sing like songs and like during Christmas time. It
That
was a
is so
long, long
cute.
time ago. But yeah, they definitely have Meetup is a really, really good app. And you just put in there your information, where you live, the things that you're interested in, and then it just starts populating a whole bunch of groups in your local area that you and the times and the places that they meet and things like that, or email that you can reach out to the people that's organizing them. Um, and a lot of them are free as well. So they have really, really cool resources there. We also, we have a lot of programs that we want to talk about family support and kids support. In our episode with Crystal, my cousin, she mentioned organization that helped her when she first got separated from her partner, when he kind of left her and she was, left alone and basically homeless. She did have a place to go, but she wanted to have her own place. So it's called COTS, COTS, all capitals. It's a shelter. The one that she specifically went to is the Mary Isaac Center. It's in Petaluma, California. But I did look up their website and they also have services in different areas. Um, and it helps a lot with people for housing. It helps with, they have on-site clinics. They help with like client enrichment, sobriety services, employment services, housing services, and they also provide 3 meals a day. So I thought that that was a really good resource. I reached out to her and she just responded yesterday, because I think when we did the episode with her, she didn't exactly give the name. So I reached out to her and asked her for the name, and then so she barely responded yesterday. So I did want to also mention that one because I thought that it was, I know firsthand I saw her kind of going through that process, and that place really helped her a lot.
It's amazing. I mean, there's a lot of different resources. Just ask for them or reach out to people. Maybe they have information or just Google them. I know a lot of things are just found on Google. And then there's also another group. So it's a Common Ground Society. Look it up on Facebook. They have a parent network group and they have their regular organization Facebook group. And you can just add it to you can go search for it and join. And it's just basically teaching you resource or giving you resources on how to be there for kids with special needs, resources that there are, workshop classes. They also hold like this monthly IEP session for parents that don't know what their rights are or what they can ask for in IEPs. I think that's amazing. And if you can't go to those events, you can always just type up your questions in that group and everybody will respond. Anybody will respond, like whoever has the resources. I've gotten like legal counseling through there, like really quick, just ask a question and they'll respond or tell me, hey, is this going against my parent rights? I have an IEP coming up and I have all these worries. What are your guys' insights? Does anybody have information regarding like similar scenario? And I've gotten so much great advice from there. And they also have a website, so you can search them up there.
Do they have like advocates? Because I know that that's something that I've been kind of looking into, is like advocates for, like, that will go with you to IEP
They
meetings
gave
and
me a list.
oh,
So yeah, I was looking for an advocate back when I was going through the mediation process and I ended up doing it myself. But and then the judge was like, "Did you go to law school?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Oh, you sound like an attorney." I'm like, "I'm sorry, that's just who I am." But
should have gone to law school. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
like, I should have, but I didn't. I get scared with like the 10-year term, so that's why I didn't go. But I mean, I know it's within me somewhere, but I advocate for my kid regardless. And yeah, so join that group if you have any like speech therapy, anything that is out of the mainstream educational setting, they can help you with anything. Like they'll give you information. If they don't know it, somebody will respond and give you the resources. I know they also provide like I think there's an organization called Matrix they've sent me to before, and I think that's like a parent support group resource center. And then there's so many things that we honestly don't know about. So especially kids with special needs, ask, even if it's in a different language, somebody will respond.
Yeah, and I also, something I recently learned as well, that if you're, for example, my child, one of my children, his teacher was kind of last year saying um that there was some things that she was concerned about. and that she wanted him to be evaluated. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, but nothing ever happened. And then this year, the teacher told me, his teacher kind of told me the same thing. And she said, you need to email the principal. And once you email the principal, they have 30 days to respond. That's a law. I don't know if it's a law everywhere, but
Yeah.
it's a law here.
Mhm.
And right away, like I literally emailed the teacher like on a Monday, and on Wednesday it was like the ball was already rolling and they were starting to evaluate him and things like that. So definitely if you have a concern about your child and you do want him to be evaluated, email the principal. They have to start right away. And also you could also take him to the doctor. I know I've done it that way as well. Take him to the doctor and tell the doctor my concern, and then they are able to evaluate him as or them as well. But obviously, if you have like health insurance or if you have to pay for it, it might be, more expensive to do it that way. Whereas like for the school, it's taken care of. But that's also a good thing to know for parents. I didn't know that till this
And
year.
then there's also that so no or the regional center. I know there's regional centers throughout California. So check in with them as well. Like if it's not through them, there's also a place called Early Learning Institute here in Sonoma County. They also have screenings. They provide services up to I think till they're three, and once they're three, it goes up to this district. The services have to be through the district. And so I know there's a lot of different programs. I know your kid, I think you went through Sonoma Can to do like Avance and Pasitos or either one.
Yeah, I did my with my son. I did Pasitos, and I did I don't know if it was it was, I don't know if it, I mean, Avance and Pasitos I think are kind of the same thing, but yeah, I don't remember the other. It was like two different programs. It was Pasitos and then it was something else, but it was through the Sonoma Can organization, and that was a lot of fun. I met a lot of moms that I still talk to today, and my son he loved it, and they even taught me how to like we would make them things. Like I made him like a little doll, like what is it, what's it called? Like, yeah. And so I made him a doll, and then I also we would make him like games like with little bean bags and so many things that we like a lot of arts and crafts, but it was really cool things that I had never done before. And I feel like I got to spend a lot of time with my son and really like bond with him. So it was a lot of fun. I definitely recommend that. I do believe that there is some sort of sliding scale, something like that. So definitely reach out and ask about it. But it was a great program and I really enjoyed it.
It's great. So I feel like a lot of these resources will help the community. And I didn't do Pasitos or Avance, but because my kid did have special needs, we did start with the ELI, the Early Learning Institute, and they have a lot of different resource centers and a whole bunch of information. They also work with the North Bay Regional Center, which is the other agency that did services for my son. And then when he turned three, he went to the district. So we've been getting a lot of help, but for kids that don't have special needs, there's resources out there. If you need playgroups, those are perfect resources to reach out to, and we'll be putting the links down below. If you have any questions or there's like a language barrier, you're not understanding what we're saying, go ahead and send us a message and we can clarify in Spanish. Si tienen alguna pregunta o algún programa de los que hemos hablado y quieren saber más, mándenos un mensaje porque también hablamos español, pero el programa mayormente es en inglés. Y si tienen alguna pregunta o algún comentario sobre lo que hemos compartido, por favor déjenoslo saber. Si gustan más ayuda con algo o temas de inmigración, también con gusto los apoyaremos. And if not, then we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope to see you guys then.
Bye.
Bye.